Fuck, man, you're dying.
Clear my throat.
Ah, me too.
Just a bit.
Well, hello there. I'm your host, Ryan Chumpy Crash Reynolds. This is your other host, Adrian Bertazoy Townsend.
Whoop.
And you're listening to Just a Bit Gaming,
Yeah.
crossing streams since 2017.
Always. Ghostbusters reference.
Yep.
Nice.
What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. Just hanging out, playing video games. A lot of them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Had a prolific couple of weeks.
Dude, I've had one of my biggest ADD video game binges this past couple weeks.
Seriously, dude, every time I've talked to you the past couple of weeks,
That's
you've
what I
been
say.
playing something new.
Oh, dude, I do every time.
I know. But then in between you tell me, oh, I beat this, I beat that, I beat that. I spent 8 months concentrating on only playing one game, and I'm like, yeah, I've almost made it through the first actual story mission.
It seems weird to me because I feel like you should be me when it comes to that because you seem to have the more
ADD.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I can't keep focused on one game for too long. Like I want to change it. It's like I can't watch the same show over and over and over again. I got to change it up a little bit.
Right.
Same way with video games.
Gotta change it up.
And I always come back to them. Like I'll start it and play something else and come back to it. Like these past couple weeks, I've been still playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I went back to Persona 5, which I haven't touched in 6 months.
I've never even played that one yet.
It's awesome. It's a great game. What else did I play? Ratchet and Clank. I finally finished Ratchet and Clank.
Hell yeah.
And I started
Which was so
Wolfenstein
good.
2.
So good, right?
Ratchet and Clank is great. And
so good.
I've got kind of a review since I finished it.
Good. We'll talk about it. What do you think of Wolfenstein 2 so far?
So far, I am really it's heavily story driven, man. A lot more so
Dude.
than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Before the first part of the game was just watching cutscenes, and I felt like it was an RPG in that sense.
It's got a very impactful environment to it in that way.
It doesn't pull any stops, It just
right, absolutely. How far are you in it?
Let's see. Gosh, I don't know how to say how far I am without saying spoilers. Maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours into it.
Right.
So, yeah, I've seen some stuff happen. I wasn't a big fan of the opening sequence of the game.
That was tough. It started a little rocky, but I think we talked about that whenever I was playing it.
Yeah,
The opening was a bit tough.
yeah.
They
Start you off. I don't know if it's a big spoiler, but they start you off playing in a wheelchair.
and you only have one hand because you have to control your wheelchair with one and shoot with the other, and it's rickety as hell. And I think the point is to drive it home like, oh man, you're fucking hurt.
Yeah,
And you gotta fight some Nazis.
But it seems like this should have been something that they did at the end of the game, not in the beginning.
I don't know. It seems sloppy and difficult to maneuver.
Yeah.
The rest of the game is great.
It is
And
unique though. I've never played a game where they put you in a wheelchair and you actually have the actual restrictions of being in a wheelchair.
And that's exactly what it would feel like if a roller skate went on a rampage.
Yeah. And
I think
had
that's
some
actually
guns.
what they were trying to simulate.
They did a good job.
Read that somewhere.
They did a great job.
Yeah.
But I mean, the game is brutal. On top of that, the cutscenes and
God,
stuff that's
dude.
going on, there was the bad woman in the game. I don't remember her name, but she is truly freaking evil, man.
Oh yeah.
She is so bad.
She's bad news bears, dude.
And she has a daughter that she is just horrible to. And I'm not gonna go any more into spoiler territory, but I think once I finish this game, I think it might be a good one for us to go all out with spoilers because it's truly
I don't even
it's
care.
grabbing me. I want to play it.
You keep coming back to it.
Yeah.
And then when you're not playing it, you're thinking about it.
Yeah. It does
That's
a great
how
job.
it was when I was playing it, which is amazing. I never actually finished it, but that's where it comes back around.
It's still a first person shooter and it still kind of feels sluggish sometimes.
A little bit.
Some levels I played through the first one, and I remember some levels feeling longer than they should have been.
Right.
I had that same sense when I played the wheelchair part of the game. Like, I felt like, okay, I'm done being in the wheelchair. Give me some guns and let me go shoot some guys,
Well, and honestly, even as far as I made it into the game, there are a lot of levels that, you get to a point where you're like, all right, this is it. Gonna wrap this baby up, move on to the next one. And instead you watch like a 10-minute cutscene and then have to rewind yourself back through to the beginning of the level to actually beat it. And then you got to interact with, I mean, I don't care if you're a computer animated Nazi. You should not be that rude to people.
I agree. That woman, man, she's terrible.
She's bad, man.
But I am enjoying it. I am going to get through it, and I do want to keep playing it.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I just started it a couple days ago, so probably by the next episode I'll have it beat. That's how good it is. Usually if I know a game is good is if I can sit through and play it through, in a week or two.
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank being one of those.
Oh, man.
Dude,
You want to go ahead and jump into this one?
I'm going to jump into
Let's jump in.
I started playing it again. I had the game originally. I bought it, played like one level, and for whatever reason, maybe another game came out at the same time. I started playing another game, forgot about it, and my kids started playing it. And they were really enjoying it. And I was like, man, I really need to get back into that game. And then when it became free on PS Plus, it eliminated me having to put in a disc.
It just makes it that step easier.
Yes, it's that extra step.
That's the reason I didn't play Overwatch for like 8 months. Every time I thought about it, I was like, fuck it.
I gotta put that disc in.
Netflix is a button push away.
Dude, it's so true, man.
Right.
You don't know how lazy you get until you have to put a disc into the system.
Right. Actually, there was one night a few weeks ago. Shelby and the kids went to bed, and I was having a very deep conversation with a bottle of whiskey. And I texted my brother-in-law and was like, dude, I'm going to play some Overwatch. I haven't played in a long time. You want to get on and play with me? He's like, yeah, dude, I'll get on and play. And I plugged it in and it gave me this notification that was like, you haven't played in over a year.
Wow.
You've got some updates. Want to do them now? I was like, hell yeah. So I do updates and it's like update time, 4 days and some odd shit hours. I'm sure it wasn't that big, but I looked at it and was like, nope.
Not playing tonight.
Back to watching Community reruns.
Overwatch is another one. I know, breaking off of Ratchet and Clank, but I started playing Overwatch again too. I haven't played that game in probably 6 months. There's a lot of new features that weren't there the last time I played this game.
And several new characters.
A lot of new characters. Like one character I completely forgot about. Doomfist.
That's exactly who I played as first.
Yeah, I completely forgot about him.
Man,
and
the best part about playing with him, like what I liked the most, is how awful I was playing with that character.
I still haven't even touched him. I don't know what he does.
I was so bad that at least nobody can make an argument for me putting forth an effort. It looked like I just didn't care. It was so bad.
Well, I got on there wanting to play as Brigitte.
Brigitte. Little Mama B.
Little Mama B. I wanted to check her out, and she's cool. She's fun to play as. The shield is nice, but I really got attached to I forgot the name. The new robot, the African robot.
Oh yeah, she's cool.
She is so
I can't
freaking
remember
good,
her
man.
name either. Honestly, I'm having a hard time with any of the new character names because I've only played with any of them once or twice at this point. I still know the original lineup, and honestly, I just ended up going back to Junkrat immediately.
Well, so I did too. I started going back, not Junkrat, but Lucio. But I really got attached to that character. That character is really good, and you can heal people.
Yeah.
You can put a shield up to guard against attacks for your whole team. You can boost your health and stamina and everything and reduce damage taken. It's a really powerful character.
When I was playing, there was a guy on my team that was playing as Mercy.
Yeah.
And he was very good. He took the moniker of team leader. We hit the battlefield.
I think if you play as Mercy, you have to be good.
Right. And he was just right out front. He was the one calling the shots. And I was playing as Junkrat. And so he's talking strategy and running through healing people and everybody flank from the east, north, 2x4, fucking some battlefield bullshit.
Did you make it to the 2x4?
And I'm playing as Junkrat and I'm doing things like running into the middle of an explosive fracas and shooting with Happy Abandon.
Yeah.
And he was talking the calmest shit at me I've ever heard in my life. Like at one point he goes, hey, Junkrat, hey, Junkrat, hey, hey, they're shooting you, man. And then I died, and he goes, well, I got knocked out or whatever. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna revive you, but then I need you to get back to base. So he revives me, and I jump right back in. He goes, hey, you dumb fuck.
Wow.
What? Why would you run back? I just healed you. I wasted a heal on you. Hey, rest of the team, if you guys are listening, don't heal him because he just wants to run back in and die.
Damn.
So every time I die, he'd be like, okay, are you even trying? He was so mad the whole time.
That's funny, but it kept his just real calm demeanor.
He just kept so calm the whole time.
That's funny.
And it took him a long time to get to cursing until he was like, hey, you stupid fuck. What are you, like, he seemed genuinely just like crestfallen about it. Like, there's a type of dudes that get on there and like, you kicked my dog. And there's the dudes that are like, bro.
See, I never even hear anybody talk when I get on there.
Rarely. It was like
very rare.
This guy and a kid that were talking. Same whenever I played Fortnite. Not the same two guys, but I was playing squad.
It'd be cool if it was.
I was playing squad on Fortnite, and I had these two guys, and they were like, I mean, they were from somewhere, you know, like one of the southern states, I suppose. They were a bit drawled out, and it was this little boy who's like, "Hey guys, I landed way far away from y'all. Which y'all coming my way or am I going your way?" And the other guy's like, "I don't fucking know, bro. I'm stoned as hell. I ain't never played this shit. Hey, you got a gun I can have? I can't find any guns." And then they're like, "What's this other guy doing? Hey, can you talk? Can you talk?" And I would just say things like, "Hey, left." And they'd be like, "Left," and take off, and there'd be nothing there.
Yeah.
People shouldn't play video games with me.
You're not very cooperative, as I can gather.
I find it to be less entertaining when I cooperate.
Well, dude,
so Ratchet and Clank, huh?
Ratchet and Clank. What you're saying is I shouldn't play Ratchet and Clank with you.
No, you should. Just don't listen to anything I say.
Gotcha. Well, okay. So I just beat the game last week, and it was one where I picked it up to try it out again, and it got its hooks in me, and I couldn't stop.
Pretty much didn't put it down.
Yeah, I played it. It took me 3 nights to beat it after I got it. And so one thing I was blown away by were, and I think I mentioned this last time, the graphics are incredible. Like,
they look so good.
I like to think of this game as if 3D platformers had continued to today, they would look like this. And I want that. I want more of this.
I think we talked about this earlier today. I think it's time for a renaissance in the 3D platform
I agree.
world.
I want to see more.
That was
like
kiss,
original.
not a high five.
Like, I want to see original 3D platformers. I don't necessarily want to see the old ones come back, although that would be cool.
I mean, it'd be cool, and it would sate that desire on a level.
Yeah.
But the excitement now that we've both played this Ratchet and Clank revisioning,
yeah,
and it's like what I was telling you is once I plugged that in and started playing, I've pretty well forsaken any of my modern games for the sake of my more retro playlist. You know, I got the Wii back out and started playing Mario Galaxy again. I got the 64 out and started playing some of the classics on there, all the way back to the NES and the top-down Legend of Zelda games. You know, I'm on this you know, platforming, dungeon crawling retro kick right now because of playing Ratchet and Clank.
That's cool.
And it really is. It's like, you know, you're into it and you're playing the games that you play and you're excited and, you know, you talk about them and you've got your play style and the games that you like, you know, my love of the open sandbox type Skyrims and anything Bethesda's of the world. And you get excited about those games, excited enough, like, yeah, shit, this is my jam. This new one's coming out. But then to feel what you and I both obviously felt starting up this Ratchet and Clank and being taken back to that excitement of like putting on this new game, this 3D platformer, and it's time to just fucking go.
Yeah.
You know, it took me back to the excitement of like opening up the box on Banjo-Kazooie or Mario 64.
I hear you.
You know, plugging in any of those games for the first time and just getting so stoked about it. The world needs new ones.
They need new ones, and you know, I don't know if it would be a hit with younger generations who didn't experienced that originally,
Maybe not, but I don't care.
it would still be cool.
This
like,
is for me, Adrian.
okay, this is for you and I.
This is our club.
The one thing that I got from Ratchet and Clank immediately when I started playing it took me back to when I first played the original Ratchet and Clank. That same feeling I got playing that game. How incredible the guns were. You know, there's so many different guns in there. Hitting the boxes and collecting the bolts, and
Right.
upgrading your weapons. Like, all of that was so much fun, and it still holds up today. Like, playing this game, one of the biggest reasons for me wanting to play it and keep it going with it is the upgrades are fed to you at such a pace that is just perfect. Like, it's not too slow to make you get bored, and it's not too fast to feel like they don't really do anything. It's at a good, proper pace.
It feels like a reward.
Yes.
And also, the game is just slightly easier than it needs to be.
It is easy.
So you feel like a total badass running through it.
Yeah.
Like, you know you're not actually that good at this game, but you're going to go ahead and convince yourself you're just that damn good at this game.
Yeah. It's so weird in that sense. Like, the when you upgrade your guns and stuff, when you collect those little crystals to upgrade your guns, you actually feel the impact of that upgrade. So it doesn't feel like a lot of upgrade systems nowadays. Like, okay, upgrade something, but you know, if it works, great. I trust you that it works.
Right.
Playing on this is like, no, I feel it. Like, I have another gun. My gun fires faster, and it feels like it fires faster. Like, the upgrades are nice.
I'm doing more damage. I'm handling things.
Like, my favorite gun was the Zurgun. Oh gosh, what is his name? He's this little robot that follows you around, kind of like Clank, but he shoots everything automatically. So he's like an auto turret that follows you around.
That's awesome. I haven't gotten him yet.
I upgraded the heck out of him, and
I've been letting Malone pick our upgrades as we go.
Yeah,
based on what he thinks looks the coolest.
Well, that's a good way to go.
Which is fun for him because it's getting him into the platform thing.
You know, that's fun. You're like, yeah, I if I would have, I'm not that nice when I play with my kids watching me. Like, well, they didn't really give me an idea of what I should get anyway. I just like, hey, I want that gun, the Pixelator. Like, I had to have the Pixelator. Have you seen that one yet?
No, I haven't.
It's like a shotgun that turns the enemies into pixels.
That's awesome.
It's really cool, and it's very effective. Like, you can upgrade it to the point where when you fire a shot, it covers your entire screen. So anything that's in front of you is going to turn into a pixel.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and it doesn't kill them immediately most of the time.
It's just fun.
It's fun.
It's a fun,
damaging.
Fun gun.
The difficulty, to touch on that again, it is an easy game, but one of the complaints that I would have against it is it has difficulty spikes in weird places of the game that are frustrating.
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, why do you all of a sudden get so hard? It's usually when they throw a new gameplay mechanic at you. Like, there's a portion where you're like snowboarding down city streets, but you're not on snow. It's like a hoverboard.
Yeah.
Those weren't that hard, but it was like weird. There's a jetpack. One of the last boss in the game, you have to fight him using a jetpack, and you barely there's only like one level where you use that jetpack. So you have to fight the last boss using this thing that you only used once.
Not familiar with.
Yeah, and well, granted, that level I use it a lot because you have to collect a lot of stuff, and I had to collect it. And that last boss pissed me off so much, dude. I don't know how many times I fought him, but it felt like a slow battle, and I would get to where I almost had him dead and he would kill me. I'd run out of health or something. It was just frustrating.
Yeah.
But on top of that, like, collecting bolts is super fun. Like, I don't know if you got the sense where you hear all these bolts coming at you and they're flying around.
You're getting some shit. You know?
It's cool. It's like, you don't have games that do this really anymore.
Or like whenever we saw an upgrade station and Malone started freaking out and wanted me to go buy a new shooty shoot.
Yeah. Shooty shoot. That's a good one.
Yeah. And I didn't have enough bolts yet, and so we had to run back through these caverns and, try to find some enemies or boxes or something and just try to collect some extra bolts.
Yeah.
And so that's become part of the fun of it is we go and we look at the prices on stuff, and I tell him, hey, well, we don't have enough to buy this yet. And so he's like telling me where to go.
Yeah.
And, where to go try to find things and, what to do and who to fight and all that. And so he's having a really, really good time with it. More than anything, it has brought me back to wanting to replay the Jack and Daxter series.
So I never really got back into I've never really played Jack and Daxter.
See, when Jack and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank were around at the same time originally, I was in the Jack and Daxter camp.
Oh,
The
okay.
first go round.
I was in the Ratchet and Clank camp.
And I religiously played through the 3 canon Jack and Daxter games. There was one that was like an arena battle game or something that was
Like a Smash Brothers?
kind of, it was, I don't really remember. I just know that there was like a 4th Jack and Daxter installment that wasn't necessarily canon,
Uh-huh.
and it was like a multiplayer. It was hot garbage. It was not a good game. But the 3 OG games, if I could find them, I'd play the hound out of them.
Well, Jack and Daxter is a true like 3D platformer, even more so than Ratchet and Clank.
To the essence. If there was one that I would be like really jazzed to see re-envisioned now, I'd be pretty wound up for a Jack and Daxter revisit.
Honestly,
I could get behind that.
I think it would come. I mean,
it might. Maybe we're on a trend.
Well, with how successful the Crash Bandicoot one was.
Well, yeah, and then what was that game that came out last year that was based on, that was like a spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The one that was kickstarted and it didn't really get a great review. But a lot of people didn't like it.
The point is just the trend of it might be on an incline, you know?
Yeah. I wonder though, with how badly received that game was, if it didn't knock things back a little bit.
I don't know. I didn't play it. You did though, right?
No, I've never played it.
I didn't play it. I watched a lot of videos and it brought me that nostalgia factor, you know, that I wanted to play it. Ukulele, that's it.
I do want to play it. I want to give it a shot. It's like it's another one of those like Mighty Number 9.
Yeah.
Mighty Number 9 was like the Mega Man, kickstarted new game, and a lot of people hated it. I played it. It's not horrible, but I see where people are coming from. But Ukulele was received in that same way. So I don't know. I'll play it when it becomes free on PS Plus. How about that?
Okay. You know what we need to do is we need to create a JABGcast PS Plus account that we can just have signed into both of our PlayStations.
Yeah.
And then we can like take turns buying these weird titles and playing through them.
Well, then
concurrently.
That would mean having to pay for another PS Plus account.
I'm not paying for mine right now.
I'll pay for mine.
We'll use my allowance.
There we go.
I canceled mine because I was going to buy a gym membership. And I was like...
How did that go?
Well... I currently have no PS Plus account or gym membership.
well, good for you.
I was like, I don't.
The intention was there,
right? I was like, I've got several subscriptions. I've got like my PlayStation subscription and my Pandora and Spotify subscriptions, and a couple other little things. I was like, I don't need another subscription. I'm gonna cancel one of these that I don't seem to use a lot.
Yeah. And
so I canceled my PS Plus account and then immediately was like, oh, that was stupid.
Well, the good thing is it's easy it's easy to get back.
Once I cancel my gym membership.
Yeah, there you go. A couple of things about Ratchet I want to touch on just real quick. The voice acting, they use the same voice actors. Dude, that is another thing that just kind of really hit home with me.
And you know what I love so much?
The voices are so good. They're so good.
Opening sequence. When they're introducing the characters with their classic original voice actors, and Captain Quark is in the prison cell with that other guy.
Yeah.
And he wanted to tell his story about what happened. And that other guy's like, well, I already got my pre-order for the video game. And he goes, the video game about my adventures with Ratchet? What is he, a Lombax?
Lombax, yeah.
I almost said Lorax.
That works too.
Fair enough. My adventures with that wayward Lombax or whatever. And he's like, yeah, there's a video game. Didn't you see the movie? And we talked about the movie. And then he's like, wait a minute. There's a video game about a movie, about a story I never got to tell. And then he sits down and the video game is you playing through his version of how all this stuff went down.
Yeah.
I thought that was so clever. And the self-effacing fourth wall break of there being a movie and the pre-order video game and and the fact that they know that this is just a remake of the old games, well, it's a retelling of the same basic story. I loved it.
It's a reimagining, so I would say.
Reimagining, yeah. Because it's Captain Quark's version of what happened.
I would say though, to that point, that would be a negative that I had against the game.
Really?
It relied too heavily on the movie. There was a lot of scenes in the game that weren't fully fleshed out or explained, that you would only know what happened because you watched the movie.
But I think the point was a multimedia experience. I think they put them out together. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure
I think they did. Yeah.
together to be one cohesive experience.
Okay. Yeah. And it makes sense because a lot of games used to be done that way.
Kind of like, were you ever into Coheed and Cambria?
No. My brother was. I wasn't.
All of their albums are concept albums, and each song tells a story.
Okay.
And each album would be released in the same publication cycle as a story arc of comic books that
I do recall that.
Yeah. That was written by the band, well, by the lead singer. Somebody's upset that I can't remember his name right now.
So they work together.
Yeah, and so it would be one, because a lot, it's great music, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. And so you put them against the comic books, and it creates one arcing multimedia concept that is intended to go together.
I can agree with that, but they show too many scenes of the movie to make it be like its own thing.
Well, that's fair.
And actually, it doesn't really need a story. It's fun on its own. If it didn't have a story, I would be fine with that. But there was like some parts where there was one part in the middle of the game where Ratchet gets caught by the bad guy, and he's talking to the bad guy, and then the next scene happens, and he's sweeping the floor in his hangar, and he's talking to Clank or talking to one of his guys. And it's like, how did he get out? Like, it didn't explain any of that.
Just didn't explain it.
No, he's like, you should know because you watched the movie. Well, yeah, I guess, but that was it's a minor complaint, really minor complaint, but a complaint nonetheless.
You think it's one you'll revisit and play through again?
Yeah. I started a New Game Plus for sure. It's got more trophies and unlockables that you can get on another playthrough. So yeah, I did start a new playthrough. I don't know if I'll get through it twice, but I at least started
collect
to.
Some stuff.
There is another cool thing. You collect these golden bolts. Did you find any of those on your? They're really hard to find.
I've found them. I have not figured out how to get to them.
Yeah. So a lot of them will require you to have an ability that you don't have yet, and then you have to go back. And
okay, that makes sense.
So like those golden bolts unlock cheats, so you can do like unlimited ammo, unlimited lives, invincibility, stuff like that. Those are real expensive though. And then they also have like costumes and masks for Ratchet, and they have you can unlock artwork for the original games.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's super cool, and that to me is a huge driving force to collect those bolts and go through on a new game and try to get as many as I can, because I haven't unlocked everything yet, but the costumes and stuff that I did try were really super cool.
You're a collecting motherfucker.
Dude, it's in my nature and I can't avoid it.
You've been playing Ratchet and Bank.
That's right. Oh, there's another one where you can change the bolts into little rings. And so you collect them. It's like,
yeah,
it's super
back
cool.
To Sonic.
A little bit. Yeah. It's immediately what I thought. It's not the same sound, but it's similar.
Yeah.
And it's the sound and the rings float in the air. It really felt cool.
That's cool.
I prefer that over the bolts.
I think it'd be kind of fun to see a Sonic and Tails platformer.
A good one?
Well, no, like a mediocre one.
They haven't. They've done so many of those.
I know. I'd like to see a good one that
smart ass.
Some effort was put into. You know, like I'm talking. Something to be the successor to the Dreamcast.
Yeah, the Sonic Adventure, the original Sonic Adventure, I think
that
was
a jam,
probably
dude.
the best 3D Sonic game.
Well, yeah,
and they haven't
absolutely.
really been able to nail it.
You ever play Sonic Heroes?
No, I haven't.
That theme song alone. I remember
Sonic theme songs are the best.
Man. I rented that game.
I think I have it.
I plugged it in, and it was like, ba-doop, ba-doop, Sonic Heroes, Sonic Heroes, ooh. And I was like, nope.
Dude, all the Sonic games have some cheesy stuff
Why
like that.
did nobody at Blockbuster warn me about this bullshit?
Yeah. Like, even Sonic Adventure had its cheese, man.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Excuse me.
Oh, man.
There was
we need to have a video of just ranking the cheesiest Sonic theme songs.
There was another one, I think it was on the Sega Saturn, that had some cheesy songs in it. I think it was like Sonic R, maybe.
I think the
remember.
definitive Sonic the Hedgehog theme song is Sonic the Hedgehog. He's the fastest thing alive. He's the fastest thing alive.
Is that the TV show?
Yeah,
the cartoon.
dude.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, man. That song was a banger.
To me, the definitive one is the Sonic Adventure song, the guitar riff.
You know, you might actually be right. Yeah, you might be right. Am I allowed to announce that we're gonna make this video?
Where we sing the songs to the Sonic songs?
Yeah, we're gonna sing the top 10 Sonic theme songs.
I like that idea.
We'll put them up against the actual theme song and see how off we were.
I don't remember. That's
shit.
It would come back to me if it was playing in the background as I was singing it.
Right.
It's so weird how that works sometimes. Dude, okay, so change the subject on another game that you and I have both been playing, which is somewhat a rarity. What is it? Tell me.
PUBG Mobile.
That's right.
PUBG
oh my
Mobile.
gosh.
You know what? I like it better than Fortnite.
I brought you to the other side.
All of my horse shit about Fortnite is just because I hadn't played PUBG. You know, I think the reason I didn't want to give PUBG a shot before is because you had never even told me that there was just this sense of tension.
It's
actually I'm lying. You told me a million times.
The tension in that game is what makes it so good.
It's what makes it. There's not that feeling of urgency in Fortnite. And like we discussed last time, Fortnite is a crazy game full of crazy, super dedicated fans. I got on Fortnite the other night. Literally got on this match. Was like, all right, I'm gonna jump in, play a match. Last time I played, I got 6th place. That was a few months ago.
Yeah,
that's the best I had done. So I'm gonna see how I do tonight. I hit the ground and someone was already shooting at me.
Oh wow!
So I was pissed, and
you jumped off in the city, didn't you? Or close to one.
I jumped off. There was like a little bit of city over here to like the west, and then there was a tree line, and then like a farm. And I saw people landing over by the city, so I was like, I'm gonna go to the farm.
That's what I usually do.
Someone was already shooting at me, and so I ran into this farmhouse, and I go looking for a gun, and I turn, and I see this guy, and I take a shot, and a wall appears.
Oh yeah,
motherfucker just threw one up at me.
Yeah. That's what happens if
like he's closing off a room.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry, guy with a shotgun. I have modifications to make on my home.
So yeah, I mean that goes back to the story that I told last week. That's what turns me off of that game, and I just can't get it.
Yeah, I start hitting the wall and shooting, and another wall comes up, and so I turn, and then a wall comes up, and so he's like breaking this house and building walls around me. I just turned it off.
Was he shooting at you at the same time?
No, he was just trapping me.
Okay.
And I got claustrophobic for my character.
That'll do
man.
it.
I was wound up. I turned it off and I was like, no. I'm going to go play PUBG Mobile.
There we go.
Nobody can build a house around me on that one.
Dude, that's what I love about PUBG is it's stripping out all that extra stuff that I don't need.
Right.
You know? Like, all I need is to be dropped on an island and find me some guns and some gear, and then I'm going to go kill some fools.
Yeah, currently my guy has a cool shirt and some cool shoes.
Mine too.
And no pants.
I think I'm still in underwear. Maybe I have pants. I don't remember.
He looks...
Dude, I was blown away.
How well it handles on a phone, man.
Immediately, I saw PUBG on mobile. I was like, yeah, okay, let's try this.
Let's try.
The first thing I noticed is that it is identical to the PC version in almost every way. Like I didn't get a sense of it being like dumbed down at all.
Right.
The responsiveness of the controls, even though you're on the touch screen, you don't have a joystick or number pad like you use on the PC. Like it's just you move with your left thumb on like an imaginary thumb pad, and then your right thumb moves the screen like the reticule.
And honestly, I feel like on a level that creates a more even playing field.
It does. Because nobody has done it this way yet.
Right.
So when you jump into these games, at least right now, you have just as much of an advantage as anybody else playing the game.
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend if you're going to check it out, do it now.
Do it now. Get on.
Dude, I am playing better on PUBG Mobile than I ever did on the PC version.
Yeah, my second game, I got 7th place.
which is incredible considering you've never even played PUBG before.
Yeah, and I'm not very good at video games.
But it's
Admittedly.
Well, the great thing about it is, like, I wanted to know how they would handle picking up weapons and gear and stuff.
It picks up the yellow ones automatically.
It picks up, like, the yellow ones are the ones that they decided, hey, you need this, or this is stronger than what you already have. So it automatically pick up guns and ammo, armor, everything you could possibly need, and it auto equips it too, and it auto loads the weapons. Like in PUBG, you have to load the weapon after you pick it up.
Right.
So you have to find it, pick it up, pick up the ammo for it, load it. You don't have to do that here. It's like everything is done for you. It just simplifies things to a point that makes it enjoyable.
It's just streamlined and playable. Okay. PUBG and Fortnite don't come across as casual players.
Right.
They don't come across as casual playing games. They come across as competitive, be on your A game type experiences.
Absolutely.
And this is still competitive, and it still takes skill and it takes commitment to sit down and get through a match, but it still delivers that palm of your hand, casual gaming feel to it. Without being too serious. Like, you still get that tension in a building, and you walk in and you see that door open and that someone's skeezing about.
Right.
But still, you're sitting with it in your hand, and it still, I don't know, it still kind of gives that casual feel to it, where it's like, I could just turn this off if I need to.
Yeah.
I was playing it at work. I shouldn't have been playing it at work. But I was. And it is just that simple. Like, well, I got to drop out.
See, the thing is, well, yeah, and yeah, you can, but at the same time, it's it gets its grips into you, and I don't want to turn off. Like, if you're going to play a match and you're halfway decent at it, your match is going to last, 10 minutes, 20 minutes?
Right.
It's still a good, long match. And so especially if you're picking up weapons and stuff and you're running around trying to outrun the force field that's trying to get you, it's a pretty long setting.
I don't know what a red zone is, though.
Red zone is where they drop bombs. So if you're in a red zone, and it's like air drop of bombs, and it will possibly kill you. So if you're in a red zone, either A, get in a building, or B, get the hell out of there.
Okay. I've never been in a red zone, but they always pop up. I assumed it was like where like a bunch of people were concentrated on fighting.
No, it's just a random bombing. Trying to help take out more people for you. Dude, I got 3's my magic number as far as kills go in those games. Or in the mobile version.
I have a buddy that I work with. He plays Fortnite quite a bit. And I asked him if he had played PUBG, and he's like, no, I never played it. And I said, well, download mobile, and play a few rounds, and then we'll play together. He played a round this morning and got first place.
Whoa!
His first round of PUBG ever.
Nice. That's pretty incredible.
It is.
Dude, it's
wearing nothing but his knickers.
That's
his
all
character
you need.
too, but
nice. Dude, that game is way better than it should be.
It is.
There's no reason in the world it should be as fun as it is. Like,
and it's got intelligent design and intelligent controls.
Yeah.
And
just the auto pickup alone.
I've switched camps, dude.
Well, I can see that. I mean, you have a slight advantage being that, or not advantage. You're on even playing field now.
Right. I have not been left behind to be effectively a moving target now.
I think if anybody is on the fence of buying this game, absolutely pick it up. I think we need to make like a JABGcast squad to keep up with.
We absolutely should.
And invite people out to it.
Well, I've got a few guys from work that I have enough that we can squad up with.
There we go.
And then, I mean, I've been telling people to download this game.
Yeah.
So yeah, we should start jabbing down.
Well, you go ahead and make one, and we'll post it up on Twitter, and I'll join you.
Anybody who's listening that wants to add me and play, my name is Chumpy, and that's just CHUMPIE. Chumpy. Just
Easy
add
enough.
me. Yeah, my character is an Asian man not wearing pants.
Perfect.
So
fits you well.
It really does.
I don't know my username because I tied my Facebook account to it, and so my username is like my name, but it is missing a few letters for whatever reason.
Adrian Townsend.
Without a D?
Without a D.
Okay, that sounds right.
Yeah.
So Adrian Townsend. No space, no nothing. Yeah. But I'll be on that JABGcast.
Yeah, we'll get that put together for sure.
So dude.
Yes.
I picked up USB. Well, as you know,
the dongle.
the dongle.
He picked up his dongle. Now I picked up his dongle. I'm currently holding Adrian's magic dongle.
So let me tell you about my magic dongle. That magic dongle there will let me play with PlayStation 4 controller on my Nintendo Switch.
Which is crazy. This dongle came into existence in Adrian's life through a conversation we were having. He was complaining to me that he couldn't find any news. And I was like, hey, there's a magic dongle. And he was like, oh shit, yeah, I just bought one. Like,
So yeah,
while we were in the conversation about it, he texts me. I'm like, I'm typing a message to send him the specs for the like 2 or 3 that are on the market, and he sends me a message in the middle of me typing this other long message that says, I just bought one, it'll be here in a couple days.
yeah.
Well, all right.
That is essentially what happened. Yes. So for the first time ever, I think Ryan gave me a piece of video game news that I hadn't even heard about before, which would be this dongle. So good on you, Ryan, for staying ahead of the game for me.
Well, you know, I love spreading the gospel of a good dongle.
There you
I think every gamer should have a handle on the best magic dongle that he can.
Well,
Or she.
you nailed it. You nailed it with this one.
I nailed Adrian's magic dongle.
This thing, dude. Okay, I'll tell you why I bought it so fast. I was in the market for buying a pro controller for my Switch anyway, because I wanted a way to be able to play my games, but
This created a $20.
yeah, $70 is a
controller.
hefty price tag for a freaking controller, man, and I just
Yeah,
couldn't
dude.
do it. So when you told me about this thing, I was like, wait, I have like 4 PS4 controllers anyway that I use all the time. I can just hook one of these up to my Switch and use that. Okay, it's worth a shot. And I read the reviews. The reviews were all good. I bought it on Amazon. And so what I ended up with was a Magic NS wireless controller adapter for Nintendo Switch and PC, made by Mayflash. And this thing plugs into the dock of your Nintendo Switch, and you sync it up with your controller, and that's it. I mean, it's good to go. Like, well, I take that back. I did have to do an update to the firmware through my PC. So, and that was simple as enough as going to the website, plugging this in, it updates, I'm done. And then I put it in my Switch and was able to play Splatoon 2 with my PlayStation 4 controller, which is awesome.
Do you feel like it gives you an advantage?
Yeah, I do. Honestly,
just a more comfortable playing experience.
I'm already comfortable using that PlayStation 4 controller. The controllers, the buttons are already mapped for you, so you already feel like you know where everything should be.
That's really cool.
But yeah, I mean, especially with a competitive game like Splatoon 2, I definitely felt like I had a slight advantage. On top of that, there was zero lag, no lag whatsoever.
That's
and that
awesome.
surprised the heck out of me. I expected a little bit of input lag, nothing.
You know, the little controller that comes with the Switch starter pack. Is there a term for that one?
The Joy-Cons?
The Joy-Con.
When you plug them into the thing. Yeah.
Even playing with that one docked, there's a little bit of lag, it seems. At least on my TV.
No, I hadn't had that issue. But
also, I don't know where mine is to try.
The thing I don't like about those little Joy-Cons, though, is that it feels tiny, and the offset of the buttons
You're talking about
awkward.
when it's on that.
When it's on the controller. And I got used to it enough. I played through a lot of my games that way, like Zelda. Played through Zelda a lot of the way using that thing. And it didn't bother me that much, but it was still something that I wasn't fully sold on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the other thing is, there was one issue that I had. And granted, I put several hours of play using this thing to give it a proper review to make sure that I had one issue where it lost connection randomly. I was playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and my character just started running around in circles for no reason. I was like, what the heck is going on? So all I had to do was push and hold the middle button on my PlayStation 4 controller for about 5 seconds and it shuts off. And then you turn back on and it reconnected, no problem.
Now, whenever you're using that all hooked up, does all of that as a circuit still send a charge signal to the DualShock 4?
A charge signal? Like you can
when you plug it into the PlayStation and
it shows you your bars.
It shows that you're charging. Does it keep the controller charged while you're playing on it?
No. So it's wireless.
I thought.
See, I don't know what that. It's got it's female USB adapter on the end.
When you were talking about plugging it in, I know that the intention was for it to be wireless. I thought that you were talking about it being. I guess what I'm asking is if you did. Okay, so you got this plugged in to your Switch. And then you've got this plugged in to a.
So it's got a male end on one side, male end USB, and a female end USB. End
plugged in to your Switch dock. And then you've got a male USB plugged into the dongle going to your controller.
I haven't tried that.
Would you still be able to charge through that?
I don't know. You got a question on me that I don't know, man. I just charge up my controller and go with it wirelessly. Honestly, my USB controller cord is so short, I wouldn't do that anyway.
Yes. Whatever that means.
But honestly, I couldn't recommend this thing highly enough. It was $25 on Amazon. But that's not the only thing it does. It also works on your PC. So this thing wirelessly connect your PS4, PS3, Nintendo Switch Pro, Nintendo Switch, Joy-Con, Wii U Pro, and Xbox One S Bluetooth controllers to your Nintendo Switch, PS3, or PC system.
So basically, it makes every controller universal to every system.
Pretty much, yeah.
Damn, girl.
The thing is awesome.
You done got fancy.
I did. Switch owners, buy it.
Well, I will.
Dude, Ryan, you told me that we have a listener question.
Yeah, man.
What's up with that?
All right, so check this out. I've been on Discord a lot. We've talked about it in a few episodes. And there's this guy named Mike who runs his own gaming channel. He streams and does social media and stuff like that. It's called Warning Incoming Game.
Okay.
Any of you listening, check him out. Check out his show. He does a lot of like partner streams with other gamers that he knows. They play a lot of games. The guy's very active.
Okay.
Very personable too.
I feel like I'm missing out on this Discord thing, man.
You're missing out on the Discord thing. I
need to get back on there. I did download the app on my phone.
You've let me set sail in this ocean without you. I need to return to your port.
All right. I'll be there.
We can grab your magic dongle and sail
off into the sunset.
Into a social media dreamscape. That was romantic, man. Let's not pretend it wasn't. I'm looking for my note here.
Here it is.
Okay, so I got on Discord with this group that Mike from Warning Incoming Game invited us to, and I was on there last night announcing that we were going to be recording today and asked if anyone had any questions or anything that they wanted to hear us talk about, or even just wanted a shout out, anything like that. And we got responded to by Draken Drains, which is a fella on there, and a young lady that goes by the name Code LMD. So Draken and Code, thanks for responding and getting involved. And basically, they both mentioned retro games in one capacity or another.
They're speaking my language.
They're speaking your love language, man. So one of them wanted to know what our top 5 retro games were.
Yeah.
Another one started talking about. Actually, let me just pull up the questions.
Okay, cool.
We'll read them verbatim here.
That's fine. So, I mean, honestly, it's really cool to me that they're wanting us to talk about some retro games. Dude, anytime you can give me a reason to talk about retro, I'm going to talk about retro.
Don't I know it?
And this topic is a really good one. I had a lot of fun looking up or figuring out my answers. I did a little debate about it internally.
You always want to talk about the retro games.
Absolutely.
That's your MO. So Draken says, retro games, ones that have withstood the test of time, maybe. He wants to know which ones we think have, are still replayable and revisitable. And then Code said, how about the good, the bad, and the ugly of retro games from each individual console? Which is pretty involved.
It is.
That could be a big list. That could include games that people still enjoy today. She just wanted to help.
I think that's a good one too. I almost want to address that one on the next episode. If we,
I wouldn't mind maybe creating a running arc of addressing that question.
Yeah.
Like, each episode we can address the top ones of this console and then of that console,
Absolutely. That's a good question. Both of those are great.
Great concepts from both of them. Great return on my question. Great answers. So what we went with tonight is kind of a conglomeration of the two thoughts while we try to put together the most effective way to go about using their ideas for, our own personal betterment, obviously. But we gave credit. So thanks for your help, guys. You are now honorary jabbers. That's what we're going to call them. Jabbers.
Jabbers. I like it.
Jabbers.
Way to come up with that one on the fly.
Thanks, man. It's because I was rubbing your magic dongle.
You're welcome.
All right, so what we're gonna talk about tonight is the top 5 retro games that have stood the test of time.
Yes.
And these are cross-platform games, not like these are across the platforms. We didn't stick with any platform. The rules that Adrian and I came up with are 1, no obvious classics, such as
Mario Kart, Mario Party, anything with Mario in the name or Zelda in the name. The ones that Nintendo still makes under the same gameplay style as the original game that came out.
The ones that if you walked in a room and just said, I love Mario 64, everyone go, oh yeah, oh yeah,
yeah, we love it too.
Yeah, me too. Oh yeah, me too. I haven't played it in a long time. I like, or I play Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. What if Zelda was a girl? Wouldn't that be freaky? So you get it.
Yes.
You got to stay away from the obvious. These are retro and classic gems,
right,
that we still feel are important, I suppose is the word for it.
Well, and another caveat is I wanted to stay away from like classic arcade games like the Pac-Man, the Galaga. Those obviously stand the test of time. Those are obviously still fun and easy to jump into. And one other thing I stayed away from is like puzzle games like Tetris.
Right.
Those are obviously, you know, those can hold up. Simple gameplay styles, you know.
So what do you say we lead with the one game that
one other thing.
What? Did we have another rule?
Yeah, defining retro.
Okay. What did we define it as? Anything 2000 or before?
Yeah, you know, that's
N64
kind of
N64 was basically our cutoff.
Yeah,
for consideration on
PlayStation,
this.
N64, basically anything prior to the year 2000.
Right. PS2 stuff still seemed a bit new. Some PS1 stuff still seemed a bit new. So basically everything we have here is pretty much N64 or earlier.
Right.
So I say we start with the one that made it to both of our lists. We did not discuss our lists beforehand.
No, we didn't.
And we both put Super Mario Punch Out.
Where did that come from? What? Super Mario's Punch Out.
When I was in high school, man, there was this like comedy music group called Group X. And it was like these two guys that put on all these stupid songs and it was so popular. And there was this one that opened with like the sound of them opening a package. It was like, oh, hey friend, look right here. I got myself a new Nintendo. Right here, we should plug it in. Look at this. Okay, now what are we gonna play? I want to play Super Mario's Punch Out.
Okay.
And so they decide on like Super Mighty Plumber Boys or something like that, and then they start beatboxing and go through the whole song. This was a thing. This was formative for me, apparently.
Wow.
Super Mario.
That is really
Punch
funny.
Out.
But you caught me so off guard. I really thought that you just had a mishap in wording there.
It's Punch Out.
It's Punch Out. Mike Tyson's Punch Out. We both had that on our list. That is such a good game, man.
Yeah,
I would almost call it a puzzle game, wouldn't you? I mean, or a rhythm game or something.
It was a rhythm game, really. It because you had to learn.
You had to learn the attacks.
The sets. And in that capacity was a bit of a puzzle game or a problem solving game, almost like a precursor in thought to some of the like rhythm and music games of today.
Or boss battles in general. It's like Mike Tyson's Punch Out to me is like Shadow of the Colossus, where it's nothing but a bunch of boss battles. And
you just look, and they get mightier and mightier every time, and you got to figure out how to dodge, hit.
It's all about
perfect combo.
It's all about watching your
Wade B. Lil Mac.
Yeah, watching the dude you're fighting, whatever moves he does, like whoop whoop, you know, what a King Hippo, whoop whoop, and waiting for that perfect time to hit. And you got to know if you got to do a mid jab or a high jab, left punch, right punch.
You know, every one of those swings you just took, those fake swings, I imagined the punch out sound effects every time.
Well, good. Yeah, that shows how iconic it is.
Exactly.
Man.
The
That's
sounds
a
are
game.
still in my head.
So another thing that I thought about when making my list is games that I've come back to and played time and time again, and every time I pick it up, I can't put it down until I get through it. You know, it's just and Punch Out is absolutely one of those games. It's just you can't once you start fighting, you're gonna go and you're gonna get to Mike Tyson's or however far you can get before you run out of time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what's your number 2?
Banjo-Kazooie for N64.
That's a good one too.
We don't even need to explore that one. We just talked so much about
3D platformers. That's an obvious choice. Yeah, that's for 3D platformers.
Were yours actually in an order? Because mine were not.
Mine is in an order. It doesn't have to be, but it is.
Okay, so what would you call your...
My number 5, since my number 4 was Mike Tyson Punch Out. So my
yeah.
My number 5 is going to be Suikoden 2. Suikoden 2 is...
Is that pronounced Suikoden?
Suikoden.
I've always pronounced it Suikoden.
Suikoden. You know, I've heard it said both ways, but I think the actual pronunciation is Suikoden. Suikoden 2 is an RPG that is got beautiful like 2D graphics, and it's similar to a Super Nintendo type RPG, but it was released on a PlayStation. It was ahead of its time in story and character development, and you know it addressed a lot of like war themes and you know empires wanting to take over other continents or whatever. Was other empires. It was just a game that's way ahead of its time, and it still holds up very well today. I didn't start playing it until about 5 years ago, and it amazes me that a game this old still holds up as well as it does.
Still holds up that well. All right. Contra.
Contra is great.
Original Contra on the original
multiplayer
NES.
Contra is you can't beat it.
That game was the jam. That was my first shooty shoot game.
Yeah, that's right.
When I was little, I remember sitting in the living room with my dad when I was like 4 or 5, and it was still dark outside. It was winter, and we got out of bed. It was early. He was about to go to work, and he turned it on, and we had like a big 24-pack of toilet paper sitting in the living room.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting on that as my chair and playing Contra with my dad at like 5:30 in the morning.
That is incredible. That game is so hard, man. Like
so
one hit kills. Did you guys do the Konami code to give yourself more lives?
No.
Really? So
No.
you just play through and
I remember by the time I was like 7 or 8, I managed to beat that game in its entirety once.
That's impressive. I cannot do that.
One of the crowning achievements of my gaming career.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That game is super hard.
So cool.
Dude, so my number 3 is a game that is held to a high regard from a lot of people, and I didn't get my hands on it fully until it got re-released on the Wii U. And that game is Earthbound. Earthbound is an RPG for the Super Nintendo that is weird and quirky. Like the characters are the dialogue is weird. The music is incredible in that game. It matches the atmosphere so well. It's an RPG that didn't take the standard JRPG tropes of being a kid with an amnesia or in a medieval type setting. It was a modern day setting, and it was just so good. Like when I played it for the first time, I was honestly just I got immersed into this world. And I didn't know that a Super Nintendo game in this day and age, granted, like I've been immersed in games that are 3D, like, the Skyrims and the Oblivions and the Fallouts.
Sure, yeah.
So getting immersed in those games is easy, in my opinion. But I got so immersed into Earthbound, I felt like I was there.
Absolutely.
And a game that can do that this day and age deserves a spot on my list.
Amen. My next one, Double Dragon.
Double Dragon is
On
very
Sega.
similar to... On Sega?
Original Sega.
I've never played that one. Inform me, please.
I mean, it was Double Dragon in form.
Honestly, I didn't know Double Dragon was on Sega.
Yeah, my grandparents had a Sega
when
I was growing up, and they had Double Dragon, some motorcycle racing game.
I know what it is. The one where you beat people with chains and bars and stuff.
Yes.
Gosh. Ugh. Anyway, go ahead.
You don't have a Sega collection about, do you?
Right here.
Oh, you
right
mean
behind you.
Right there beside me, you mean? But yeah.
Road Rash.
Road Rash, that was the one.
Yes, I freaking love that game.
And then some wannabe offshoot of Duck Hunt.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one either. I
Uh,
never had a light gun on my Sega.
okay. This one had a light gun. My grandparents did. And I played so much Double Dragon. And at the time, being a little kid and playing that game, it was so hyper violent to me.
Yeah.
You know,
Dude, I remember those days.
with your buff, cut off shirt guys.
Yeah.
With their cropped shirt showing their abs and their hip bones.
Are you talking about Streets of Rage?
No. I'm talking about Double Dragon.
Wow. Okay, that sounds very similar.
Well,
to
it was
Streets of
the
Rage.
sign of the times, though.
Yeah,
you
it
know,
is. It
dudes
is.
dressed like high school cheerleaders.
Yeah, it's true.
Muscly guys did, because they had a lot of confidence going for
We
them.
talked about this. We were looking through an old comic book, and there was like 4 ads of a buff guy and trying to get you to subscribe to their.
One of them
pills or
had
whatever.
like leopard print underwear on. And this comic was from 1976. It was, what was it, Weird War?
Yeah,
It's in here somewhere.
right here.
Yeah, right here. DC Comics: The Mystery and Madness of Weird War Tales.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
But that's a trend.
This was my comic book find for the week, and this is from 1974.
That trend carried on well into the 90s, I would say.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't know how it is today.
It was a perfect market to gamers and comic book nerds and action figure enthusiasts, all that. Let's plug some ads in there with muscly dudes, show you everything you're not.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's true.
So
So
now all the magazines sell magic dongles.
everyone needs a magic dongle in their life, man.
We can cut that one out. It wasn't as funny as it's supposed to be.
Do you have anything else you want to say about Double Dragon?
No, it was just awesome.
Okay.
I loved it a lot. And that's part of the reason I keep talking about how I keep going through my parents' old stuff at the house and like the storage unit of my grandparents' old stuff and all that, is I've been trying desperately between 2 houses and a storage unit to find that old Sega so I can play Double Dragon. It has become a conquest at this point.
Did you find the game?
I haven't found the game.
Oh, okay.
No. In my searches so far, though, I have come across another original NES, a PS1, 6 or 7 NES games.
Yeah. Good ones too, mind you.
Yeah, good titles like Ninja Turtles, Mario Brothers 3. Viper is on there with a cheat code scrawled on the front.
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
That
is
one
in
was
there.
my personal favorite.
Yeah, found a few good ones. Put it on the Instagram.
Yeah.
And an Atari. So I found all of that, but I can't find the Sega that I've been looking for.
It's probably still there somewhere.
It's in there somewhere.
In some box that it shouldn't be in.
Yeah, with like old pieces of pants. Because everybody has a pieces of pants box in their attic, right?
Exactly. It's just randomness, Well, then on my number 4, I went with a game that I have played probably 3 times, and every time I started, I just get just as invested in it as the first time I played it.
Yeah.
That game is Final Fantasy Tactics. If you've never played Final Fantasy Tactics, what it is it's a tactical RPG. You have a grid-based map and you designate where your characters should go, and you tell them what you have different abilities for each characters that they can use, and think of it like a board game, like a digital board game.
Yeah.
But it's the ways that you can customize your characters are so like in depth and fun. You can change classes and gain new weapons. You can steal weapons. I recorded an offshoot podcast with my brother where we go extremely in depth in this game because we both had a very deep love for this game. Which I'll release at some point in time. I recorded this thing like 3 months ago. But yeah, number 4, Final Fantasy Tactics absolutely stands the test of time in my opinion.
All right. My top that I think really stands the test of time, I would love to see truly revisited or reimagined, just for the sake of giving the devil his due on this one.
Mm-hmm.
The devil being, would that be Miyamoto?
Miyamoto?
Star Fox 64.
Then it would be, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the head? Remember the head that you shoot in Star Fox?
Yeah.
That wasn't Miyamoto, was it? Let's see. It was a Nintendo guy the guy that just passed away recently.
Yes. So yeah, Star Fox 64. There are of my N64 collection from back in the day. I have 4 games left. I don't know where the rest of them have gone.
Yeah.
And somehow I've managed to hold on to Star Fox 64 over the years. I've got Mario Golf, Star Fox 64, Milo's Astro Lanes,
Yeah.
and Wave Racer.
Wave Race. I love Wave Race.
That was it.
Those are solid games. I couldn't say anything about Milo's.
It was bowling.
Yeah.
Bowling in space. It was good for what it was. But I'm pleased with the fact that and Banjo-Kazooie, I still have that one around.
Yeah.
I'm pleased with the fact that I still have Star Fox 64. That game you can still plug in right now and have just as much, if not more fun than any modern game. I put it
agree.
against any modern game and it still would hold up. You could release it on Switch and it would sell. You could release it as a free mobile app or a paid mobile app, not even update the graphics or anything, and it would sell.
Yeah. Well, they did re-release it on the 3DS, and I think it sold pretty well.
People will still play that game.
Yeah, it's a good game.
People will always play that game.
Actually, that was one of the games that when we worked together, we had the TV set up.
We played a lot of that game.
We played a lot of that one. That was a go-to for everybody, and I think everybody was able to jump in and play it and have a good time. Yeah, I agree with you there. That's a solid number one choice.
And Adrian's number one?
My number one is
Super Mario Punch Out again.
Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Have you ever played Symphony of the Night?
Of course not.
Oh my gosh.
Shit's
that
nerdy.
Is such an incredible game. So Symphony of the Night, I mean, they have a genre that is named after that game. And Metroid, the Metroidvania. I know you've heard that term. Yeah. So that term comes from Symphony of the Night specifically.
I guess Castle Void was taken.
I don't know. That's a good question. Castlevania Symphony of the Night it came out in a time when 2D games were on their way out and people didn't really want them anymore. They wanted the 3D platforming games that we got in the late 90s. And for that reason, I remember the hype surrounding it when it came out, and a lot of people were totally into that game. And I was like, I'll give it a shot. I rented it from Blockbuster. Dude, I played just a little bit of it, and I was under that trance of 3D or nothing. I'm done with 2D. Yeah.
No more.
No more. So I played it for a little bit, found out it was too hard for me, and I didn't want to deal with those hard-ass 2D games anymore. And I went the wayside. That was a big mistake, because they re-released it on the Xbox 360 many years later, and I was like, I don't think I gave this game a proper chance. I'm gonna download it and give it a shot. It's still widely talked about today, and dude, the game is just absolutely incredible. You are exploring this castle, you're upgrading your character, and you're leveling him up, you're finding new weapons, it's like a modern day game set in a 2D world.
Right.
And you still backtrack, you get new abilities that let you get to areas that you couldn't access before, and it's just a castle exploration game, and it's so incredibly fun. Yeah, it's a great game, and I recommend it to anybody and everybody. Even if you're into those games or not, if you're into 2D games at all, this is like the ultimate 2D game, in my opinion. So I do have some honorable mentions that I wanted to throw out there real quick. Mega Man X is one that I still feel like I can go back and play a lot. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is probably my favorite in the Sonic universe.
Yeah. I feel like anything Sonic, any of the old school Sonics, probably. Because I have several of those on that handheld Genesis that I still play now.
Oh yeah, dude. Sonic holds up really, really well.
Really does.
Soul Blazer is a game that I'd never even heard of until I got it in a Super Nintendo lot I got several years ago.
And it's a Soul Calibur game, like one of those installments, but they're all in an office building.
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Soul Blazer is it's like an action RPG for the Super Nintendo, and you're recreating this world that has gone away, and it's a dungeon crawler, and you find elements that rebuild this town.
Right.
And then you move on to the next town and rebuild it. You discover pieces of the story along the way. It's a fantastic game. It's really, I think it flew under the radar. I mean, honestly, I'd never even heard of it. So I was pleasantly surprised and found out that was a great game. Street Fighter 2 absolutely holds up.
Of course, yeah. It's got to be in there.
And then
honestly, between the two of us, I'm half surprised that Street Fighter 2 didn't make it
on our list, I know.
to either of our actual lists.
Yeah, I think it's because they still make games like it, and
That's
it's
true.
the formula still holds strong.
And it's getting dangerously close to our no classic arcade rule.
It is, and I mean by that means Sonic the Hedgehog or Mega Man could probably be in that realm as well.
That's fair.
Ninja Gaiden, that's another great NES 2D game that I can. Every time I start playing it, I play until like the second to last level because that's as far as I can get in that game, and then. And then I get frustrated and turn it off, but it's still so much fun. And that's it. That's our list, man. That was a great topic. Thanks guys for giving us.
Yeah. Shout out again
list.
to Mike from Warning Incoming Game for even letting us be on that Discord channel. And then Drake and Drains.
Dark and Drains.
You just misspelled it.
Did I? Okay.
Drake and Drains and Code LMD. Thanks so much for participating.
Yeah.
Thanks for allowing us to make you honorary jabbers.
And if you want to be a jabber, all you need to do is, you can hit us on the Discord, or if you want to just email us or send us a Twitter tweet.
Yeah. And those of you that if you need something in exchange, I will send you a picture of something fat big Drew.
That's a great reward.
Or maybe I'll start sending people direct messages with weekly updates of what I find between my couch cushions.
Or weekly pictures of your dongle.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not even my dongle. You just let me hold
different
it.
dongles. How about different dongles?
Just different dongles.
Yeah.
Dongle of the day. The daily dongle.
Daily dongle. There you go.
I want everybody to now Google that with your safe search turned off.
Hey, I also wanted to mention real quick before I forget, because I wanted to say it at the top of the show. We have a website now.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the wrong noise. Wah, 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 wah.
I'm so excited about this because it's something that I've needed to do for so long, and I finally got it done, and I'm pretty happy with it. If you need to find us anywhere, I posted links
to everything.
Our YouTube, our Spreaker, anywhere that you could possibly find us, you'll find it on the website. So the website address is JABGcast.com. That's JABGCAST.com. Look us up, man. We're there.
Yeah.
We are on the web.
And what did we decide on? It's like a loot box you can listen to.
And we're a loot box you can listen to.
Loot box you can listen to.
We had some much deliberation over coming up.
We talked a lot about it. I think it was the closest to a professional disagreement we've ever had.
We both landed. We both had a hand in that one too.
Yeah.
I think you had the original idea, and then I modified it.
We found
a
way to word it to where it fitted better.
It fitted well.
It fitted good.
Ryan, what are you drinking?
Man, I am drinking Stone Brewing Stone Delicious IPA.
What do you think of that stuff?
I think it's stone delicious, dude.
It is stone delicious, absolutely.
This is a really great IPA. Nice, balanced, crispy ale. They brew it with El Dorado and lemon drop hops, I think it is.
Okay.
So you get a sweet, citrusy set of sensations from the lemon drop.
Goodness.
Yeah, just just refresh. I should never talk like that again. Mad Eddie Greg is here.
You're making me uncomfortable.
I should be. So, and then from the El Dorado, if I'm not mistaken, those give you a bit of a kind of a warmer, smokier, feel, taste. And then it's brewed with barley, but with the intention of cutting back on the gluten is what Adrian told me.
Right.
This is the first time Adrian's brought some beer news to me that I didn't know about.
So, yeah, I mean...
So that barley gives it some maltiness and balances it really well.
I've recently found out that I have a wheat allergy or gluten allergy or something. Something is causing problems with my skin, and nerded it out. And it always happened after eating something with wheat in it or drinking beer. And so I decided to kind of cut back on that, and it's actually, I haven't had any reactions since cutting it out.
That's awesome.
So in my research, I can't give up beer. I love beer. So I was like, what can I possibly drink? My wife has been gluten-free for 5 years now. And so she was my go-to for information on this. She went to the store and found this stuff and said it was from the people who made the Arrogant Bastard, Stone Brewing, which is a fantastic beer. It's one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, man. They make good stuff.
And so she picked it up and I tried it and it's so good. Like this stuff is.
I also have a Coop Alpha Hive hiding down here that I've been sipping on as well because I can't ever get away from Coop.
That's right.
Not that Stone Delicious wasn't good enough. It was that I opened the Coop before I knew we were drinking Stone Delicious and I didn't want to waste either.
You just wanted to be extra buzzed for the podcast.
Yeah.
That's right.
I feel it did a lot for my not wanting to make any sense.
Well, this stuff, you'd be happy to know I have not had a reaction from this beer, and it still has that IPA goodness that I thought I would have to not have. And so I'm happy. It's a great beer. It's a good beer.
You say you're hoppy?
I am very hoppy.
Yeah.
Very, very hoppy.
You're a hoppy boy.
Thank you.
So, I mean, I would say, you know, I'd give it a high mark. You know, it's good. I'd return to it. I will return to it. Good beer.
It's not as creamy as I prefer, but it's a good lightweight kind of hoppy. Ryan, turn it off, man.
Where can they find us?
I'm just going to send them to one place right now because I can.
We can do that.
We can do that. We don't have to figure out all this
Cue
stuff
the
anymore.
fanfare. You can find us at JABGcast.com. We're out.